Every day people just like you call, text, and email me, and they always want to start their search in the Chicagoland area. And somehow we always end up in Yorkville. So it got me thinking, why is everybody moving to Yorkville? I'm Stallone, I'm a Chicagoland realtor, and today we're going to be diving into the top reasons everybody's moving to Yorkville and why it might be a good choice for you. Number one is affordability and housing options. Compared to Chicago and other suburbs, Yorkville is actually one of the most affordable, and the cost of living feels less here. So families and individuals just like yourself typically come out here because they want a bigger home for less money, as opposed to if you move closer to the city, it's always going to be a little more expensive, and it's a little busier as well. Yorkville's average sale price for a single family home is around $445,000, and you get a lot of house for that here. Now let's quickly compare that to other suburbs people typically move to here. Elmhurst, $800,000. Naperville, $769,000. Wheaton, $626,000. Batavia or Geneva, $505,000 to $535,000. So you can see quickly how moving to Yorkville, you're going to get a bigger home and you're going to pay a lot less. Now you're a little further from the city, but would you like to drive 20 minutes or pay an extra $300,000? I'll drive an extra 20 minutes. Let's get into the housing variety. So whether you're looking for single family homes, townhomes, condos, new construction, whether it's spec builders or custom, you want a home with maybe an acre, 5 acres, Yorkville has all those options. Remember, this was a farmland town for a while. So a lot of the land is taken by new construction builders and they're building like crazy for you, which is really helping us out. But the cool thing is that the pricing is good here. Imagine buying a 3-bed, 2.5 bath or 4-bed, 2.5 bath for between $370,000 and $400,000 in new construction. And resale, probably a little bit less. But if you compare that to other towns, minimum price is $400 plus, and you're probably gonna do a lot of updating. So the attraction of Yorkville is the fact that you can move down here and get a new home or a really nice home for maybe $100,000 or $200,000 less than surrounding towns. Now the good thing about new construction is there's a lot of options here. It's not just one builder running around. You're gonna have D.R. Horton, Lennar, they do a lot of spec building homes. You have Ryan Homes that allow you to pick a few options. Then you have the semi-full customs, which is gonna be like Raleigh Homes, McHugh, and there's a few small builders also still here. Raleigh Homes have the 1/4 acre to just under, say 1/3 of an acre or so, all custom, you get to pick everything. McHugh, it's semi-custom, and they're set off in what is called Whitetail Ridge. Now McHugh builds other places as well, but Whitetail Ridge is a golf course community, and they're about an acre or so, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So again, if you're looking for land, there's a place for you. If you're looking for just a regular subdivision, also good options. And if you want just a home that's already built, there's there too. Now, if you don't like one builder's floor plans or option, go to the other builder. You don't like that builder's stuff? Go to the 3 other builders. And if you just don't want new construction, there's endless options here across Yorkville for your style. Me, I was a 2-story person for a while. Yorkville has a ton of them. Kind of turned into a ranch person only for the heating and cooling and huge open floor plans and basements. The cool thing about that is there's a lot of cool ranches here. There's a few unique ones that are really hard to find. And there's a lot of new construction ranches. So the options are great here. People move to Yorkville because it's community feel and the home options are great. Now, quality of life is kind of everything. And a lot of people move to Yorkville because they still want that country-ish feel, but they don't want to be out in the country. They want to be close to restaurants and shops and close to highways. This has that perfect mix. One of the things I've learned over the last couple of years is the restaurants are booming. Left and right, they're building restaurants, they're building houses, they're expanding the highways. This is one of the fastest growing towns, and the prices are still good for now. A lot of my friends that come from like Iowa, Nebraska, out west, and they're more to this slower country feel, and they come to the suburbs, they're like, I'm good. I don't want to live here somewhere in DuPage County. Maybe it's Wheaton or Naperville or Chicago. They're like, it's too busy for me. And then they get to Yorkville and they're like, it's kind of nice. I feel like I'm back at home. And then I've visited their homes and I see why. It's not crazy busy, traffic's not crazy. It still has a good hometown feel. So a lot of people move here just to kind of get that hometown feel where they're from. Locally owned places here are amazing. A lot of times you go out to eat, you'll actually run into an owner or a chef. You might actually run into an owner at another restaurant. Very cool stuff. So when my daughter was a month old, we took her to our favorite taco place, Que Brava. Now David and his family own it. So we went in there, got to eat their food, phenomenal food. And then we actually got to meet him. And over the 5 years, he's watched my daughter grow. Every time I go in, he asks about my daughter, my wife, family in general. I talk about his family. He'll finish cooking the food, and if he's got some downtime, he's gonna come over and talk to you. How many restaurants really do that, right? It's the coolest thing. I go in sometimes just to eat the food, just to give him business, and sometimes see how he's doing. It's the greatest place. Now there's other places like Hacienda Real, there's Crusade Burger Bar. I love burgers. so Crusade's kind of one of my places. But a lot of times you're gonna sit into places like Burnt Barrel Social, I like whiskey. You're gonna actually see owners sitting there, or owners of other restaurants are sitting there. So this very small town feel, you're gonna notice it. And there's a lot of very cool owners that I've been out to eat with somebody else, and I run into an owner of these restaurants, and they just say, hey, it is probably the coolest thing. Now, number 3 is access to natural and recreational amenities. The Fox River runs right behind here. So if you're a big fan of canoeing or rafting or kayaking, you can just throw your boat in the water and you just kind of kayak down for a while. It is one of the best things here. And before my little human was born, we did a lot of the lazy river tubing, just sitting there, cooler, all your friends, hours just floating down. It felt like hours, I don't even know. Just floating down, pick up, and hanging out at a campsite. How many towns can you really do that from? Now, if you're a fisherman, just imagine being able to fish, right? The side of the water, a dock, wherever you felt, off your boat, whatever you're into, right? My father-in-law actually owned a home right on the river. He had a dock, and he would just fish and canoe and do whatever he wanted to. And there's still a little island where he used to live. They call it Mark's Island. So every time we drive by, we're like, hey, it's Mark's Island. A few of the other people I know love to run. I have a friend that is a marathon runner. He runs probably 20 or 30 miles a week. I don't know how he does it. I can't run like a mile a year, but I give him credit. But with a lot of the wooded area and a lot of the roads and paths back here, you can run for him, it's like ever, right? He loves it. So whether you're into kayaking, canoeing, fishing, running, there are so many options here for you that I don't think you'll want to live anywhere else. Now let's dive into growing infrastructure and businesses. So when we lived here, it was only 2 lanes, one back and forth. It got kind of congested. Now, as Yorkville has boomed, they are doing a ton of construction to support this. 34 went to 4 lanes. 71 is getting expanded to 4 lanes. There's talks of 47, which is a north-south, getting expanded as well. Because this thing is growing so well, they're looking to expand just so the traffic is better. It was getting congested for a little bit because there's so many homes and it was kind of an old roadway. But their correction is to put more roadway in just to account for all this expansion, which is great, right? Nobody wants to be in traffic for hours like you're in the city. Absolutely not. When we lived there just a few years ago, there was like nothing. You had Pizza Hut, you had Little Caesars, Popeyes. Let's be real, you can only eat this stuff for so often, for so long. Yeah, it was terrible. But as the years have gone on, businesses are flooding in. So year after year, you see more and more businesses, which makes this even more of a hot spot. Because now you really don't have to leave the town. I mean, if you wanted to go to the city, you could, but why would you have to? Number 5 is community events. Who wants to live in a town where there's nothing going on, right? There's always a community event going on. I get an email, a text, a phone call. There's always something going on here. Whether it's local festivals or bar crawls, there's always something to do here, which is why a lot of people stay. Now, if you don't want to stay local and you're like, let me go out a little bit further. The best places that we go to is Prairie Fest in Oswego. It's, they got some carnival rides for kids and people. And then you have live music, probably one of my favorite places to go in the summer. And then you go to Montgomery, it's called Montgomery Fest. They weren't creative there, but it's a smaller version of Prairie Fest. You still got some rides, some music, some food vendors. These are 2 things we make sure we hit every year. My wife loves music, she likes country. I guess now kind of I like country. And my little girl, she absolutely loves music no matter what it is. So we make sure we take her to everything. And then she kind of likes rides, most rides. She gets kind of scared. But if you're looking at local events or close to local events, this is gonna have that for you. Number 6 is proximity to the city and other suburbs. So if you wanted to go to a town that's probably just as large or a little bit larger as Oswego, it's about 20 minutes away. Now, if you wanna go to Batavia, Geneva, it's about 30 minutes away. And Batavia, Geneva has the Commons, downtown Geneva. But 30 minutes isn't very far if you're trying to get that city-ish feel, but not being in the city. Now, if you want to drive Chicago, you're looking about an hour depending on traffic, give or take, and what part of the city you are. The city's massive, but it's usually about an hour to get there if you like going to the city. Me, once in a while on occasion I'll go for friends, I'll go for dinners with my wife, but not all the time. I can get the city feel many other places. If education and schools are kind of important to you, this is District 115. There's 10 schools here. There's only 1 high school in Yorkville, just so you know. Unlike Plainfield that has 4. They're trying to talk about 5. Yorkville only has 1 high school. Feel free to call, text, email, and reach out about anything you have questions about, whether it's restaurants, communities, new construction, and everything in between. I'm always available. And if you want to stay up to date about new construction communities and other communities as well, make sure to subscribe, hit the noti bell so you don't miss another episode. Now, if Yorkville's not for you, maybe you want a different feel, I'll have a few more videos coming out, Plainfield and a few others, so you can actually watch those videos as well. Maybe you want to move there. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you got something out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.